All right, y'all. We are on the tail end of a project of installing two parts. Uh, Something you're not really going to see, but here is the state of the car. Um, Lots of up and down, lifting the car and bending over and whatnot. And because I haven't mentioned it before, I do kind of have a bum knee. Got a knee that has been surgically repaired, and it is exhausted from all the kind of hyperextending that I've been doing just to be able to reach stuff in here. Hot dang. I actually, to point out one of the parts right now, because we're here, the old injectors are out. So, if anybody's in need of some ID 2000s, they are right here. I'll probably have them cleaned up and then put them up for sale. Um, they worked great for me, but my new tuner, and yes, I've consulted with a new tuner, and we are working on some stuff right now, and that is why I'm going through all this. Get the newer injectors, smaller. The only big time reason why I wanted to stick with the 2000s because they were 2000s. If anything else, I would wanted to go with the 2150s, but a buddy that has the same kind of build that I've got going on was recommended by the same tuner to go with ID 1750s. So I went with the new ID 1750s, and we were talking about my wideband setup. So we'll walk over here. This is something else you can't see. I kind of had to tear the car apart right there, and you'll see mayhem of tools and some wiring stuff. And this you will not be able to really see, but it's there. This is nope, that's not the cord. That's another gauge. Anyway, whatever. There's the wiring for it. Um, I am doing it the lazy way, and it could be lazy or just doing a shortcut, whatever. So I'm using the cigarette lighter, the car charger or the phone charge plug, whatever you want, the 12-volt plug for the car to power up the new CAN Lambda, the Link CAN Lambda. So the reason why I held off on doing this in the first place is because I already had the Innovate LC2 controller. So I was like, I don't need to spend the extra money on the CAN Lambda from Link. But my new tuner told me about the benefits and the features of it, so I ended up going with it. But that is that for the CAN Lambda and the injectors. Now, I did say I'm on the tail end, and I'm not going to do a time lapse or anything because I have no idea how long this is going to take. I thought the wideband was going to be the easiest part of this whole thing. The injectors were actually quite a bit easier, even though I haven't done a leak test on them yet. But they were a whole lot easier than I was anticipating. The only problem was I had to overnight some plugs. I didn't really have to overnight them, but I want this. I want to drive it again. After feeling the edits from the previous tune to what I drove the other night, I want to get this car back up on the road. Like, so much easier to drive, and I am just honestly looking forward to being able to drive on VIR and not hit boost cut on either the back straight or the home straight between turns 17 and 1. So yeah, that's what I've got going on. Now it's time to put the car back together, and I will be back with y'all when I am ready to do a leak test. So talk to you in a bit. Okay, y'all. So I'm doing this on camera because it just gets me to do it that much quicker. But we've come to the dreaded moment of me checking to see that there are no leaks. So just gonna double check all the connections that I had to disconnect. Not a whole lot. Surprisingly, too, these injectors see no longer gold, but if you can see that little piece in there, and got that red. Got red. The injectors are now red instead of gold. Good old 1750 color. But let's go ahead and get this car power cycled and see if anything's wrong with the fuel system. And 3, 2, 1. If I get the key to turn. There we go. All right, you can hear all of it. I'm not seeing anything there. Not seeing any leakage there. Nothing from the fuel pressure regulator. Nothing right there. And we are looking good here as well. Sorry if that's all up close and freaking not good for you all, but I am just checking to see. So also the part about that is I have to do that in order to get the tune, the new file loaded onto the computer. So I'm just overall happy, even though the injectors were an easy job. It's not something I want to do freaking twice. And I think I got fortunate with how easy it was. The only hard part was actually taking out the seats. I actually had to do some. I did some WD-40 that didn't penetrate enough, so I ended up having to use some PB Blaster, and that got all in and the crusty stuff. And the reason why I took those out, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know if the seats were integrated onto the injectors before, but the new injectors had the seat on them. So there's that. And I say that because I personally have never freshly installed a set of injectors. Any injector that I have had installed has always been done by a shop, and that's because I wasn't dealing with the stock fuel rails when I was dealing with those. And when it comes to these, every time I would mess with them, or every time the time came for me to mess with them, I was always deployed in the car. I was at a shop, so the shop did it. So let me get this. Let me get the car wrapped up, put the turbo blanket on, and get the tune loaded downloaded to the ECU, and then I will be back with first start, depending on my on the tuner's input. So talk to you in a bit again. There we have it. So, just to be transparent, that was the third cold start. First one went well. I just wanted to verify there were no leaks. Second one, I forget exactly why I did it. And then this third one was just to come out and check that the car was still good, and give you guys a peek into what's going on. But yeah, everything is running smooth. I did get scared. Let me see if I can show this to you, and I'll change the orientation of the camera here really quick. You can see those water droplets all the way down. There's 3 connection points for it. Well, those happen to be the spots where there's a gasket mating spot. And when I was getting the parts list together for the new tuner to be able to get a file put together for me, I noticed one of the gaskets that was used, and so I did some research and I ended up finding it. And I'm gonna go back and I ordered 2 of these because I have one for the mid pipe to the I know, one to the mid from the mid pipe to the other one, and then the other is for the catback. Um, yeah, so I have 2 of these that I need, and then I'll need one for the header to the up pipe, and then that should solve most of the issue. That's what it was: down pipe to the mid pipe, and then the mid pipe to the catback. I promise you, I know what I'm talking about most of the time. So yeah, but just to hop into here really quick, I've got some tidying up to do still. but for the most part, it's good to go. There's nothing really to see right here. However, and I probably should have brought a can or a flashlight, but you'll see right there. And actually, let me go get a light really quick for y'all. But I just want to kind of show you guys something that's pretty cool. And I'll probably also share a screenshot of exactly what I'm talking about based on message. But there you can see it, the can lambda. And sorry, it's like kind of just there. Like I said, I got some tightening up to do. But that little guy is pretty fascinating in what it can do. And I remember being told by one that it's overpriced. Um, but then when I got told that of what it actually does, um, it like surprised me. So I think it's well worth it's like $400 versus something else. But it's also integrated into the Link system and the software and all that. So like the ECU and that CAN Lambda are supposed to work together. And also, it used to be that O2 sensor, the O2 sensor that controlled the wideband, was in the mid pipe. So it was like right about here in terms of car location, under the car. Which, if we come over here, obviously that's quite a distance away from the turbo and combustion just in general. So the exhaust had to travel all the way through that, go down the downpipe, and then midway through the midpipe before an O2 reading was able to be had. So I'm far away from the combustion chamber now. I've rerouted that used to be where the gauge O2 sensor was. The gauge O2 sensor is now in the mid pipe, and this thankfully, I didn't have to use the CAN extension cable, so that goes through the firewall to the CAN lambda, and then the CAN lambda plugs into the CAN or the CAN uh, connection and into the ECU. And then because of the power draw that the O2 sensor has for its warm up, I think I showed, but I did hijack the cigarette lighter because I no longer use that. It's not. There's no need for me to charge anything, so I took that out and it's gone. But yeah. So as you saw, we got the cold start. So now it's literally to get it going. I don't know. It should be relatively quick because we're just working on an old file. So I know the cold start is going to have to be adjusted just a little bit because it was running a little bit rich. But I tell you what, guys, when I drove this the other day, just on the small edits, because apparently there were quite a few more made after I went for the drive. But on the drive that I went for, um, like it's hard to describe. But the word that I was forgetting about, because I guess I forgot that this car had it, was torque. The feeling that I was getting from just slightly pushing on the throttle and kind of getting it out of vacuum and into a little bit of boost was torque. Like I felt like pushing the pedal actually did something, which was amazing. Um, the thing that I can't show you because I'm not going to lift the car in the middle of a video, but the EGTs. So I sent the log from the drive the other day, and my tuner said that the values for the EGTs were about half of what they should be. I was like, that's interesting. Like, I just thought that they were what they were because, at idle, I wouldn't expect them to be too high, but then it climbs up pretty fast under load, and then it's in the 1,000 degree area under boost. But when I looked into them while I was under the car yesterday putting the exhaust back together, I decided to take them out, and sure enough, the EGT probes are barely even in the primary when they're supposed to be so the O2 sensors barely go into the primary, but the EGT probes are supposed to be like in the center of the primary. Not even close. They just barely, the little prong that sticks out from the EGT, the part that actually senses the temperature, is barely through the fitting. So I took two of them out yesterday, And unfortunately, the ferrules, or however the heck you pronounce that word, the ferrules for the compression fitting are like smashed into the temperature probe. So either I'm gonna have to find a tool that allows me to remove those or loosen them up at least, or I'm gonna have to get new EGTs, which the new EGTs would actually really suck because those are a pain in the butt to get routed and whatnot. Not difficult, but a pain in the butt. And then once I get that fixed, or not fixed, but once I get the ferrule situation figured out, I can get the temperature probes to go a bit further the into the primaries and should have some good readings there. But until then, I guess EGTs are going to be left without. But the car runs as it's supposed to. EGTs are just another tool. And I was also told I was going to possibly install the O2 sensors, but I was told to hold off on those. We are just starting on this. So let's see how this goes first. And then once we get comfortable with the tune, then we can go in and adjust things with the O2s, but the individual O2s and the controller there. But that is all I have for y'all. I appreciate you watching. This car is just from that one go is a different beast, and I'm ready to see what it does. And as I continuously say, because it's like the most important thing to me, I cannot wait to be able to go down the back straight and the front straight of VIR without hitting boost cut and just being able to lay into the throttle and go all the way. And then once I also get the throttle whip figured out, be able to take corners more smoothly and all that. But like I said, I appreciate y'all watching and hope you continue to do so. And until the next one, y'all, stay driven.